Sometimes life doesn't break you to end your story. It breaks you to reveal your strength. Once upon a time, in a countryside not very different from ours, lived a gentle girl named Elara. She wasn't born into greatness, but into warmth. Her mother, Maribel, had a laugh like wind chimes. And her father, Thomas, was a traveling textile merchant whose stories smelled of faraway lands. They lived in a modest cottage until Thomas' business flourished beyond expectation. Soon, the family moved to a grand countryside manor, surrounded by acres of wildflower fields and towering willow trees. Elara adored the greenhouse more than the ballroom. It was there she found her truest companions, 3 clever field mice who were surprisingly good listeners, dozens of curious sparrows who perched on her shoulders, and a mischievous little capuchin monkey named Milo, who had escaped from a neighboring aristocrat's exotic collection. Life felt magical. Until winter came. Maribel fell ill. The warmth left her cheeks first, then her laughter faded. And one silent morning, Elara held her mother's hand as it grew still. Grief changed the manner. Thomas buried himself in travel and trade. Weeks became months. Elara, once surrounded by music and warmth, found herself surrounded by silence. Loneliness has a way of inviting trouble. During one of Thomas' long absences, he remarried, hoping to provide Elara with guidance and stability. But the woman he brought home, Lady Rowena, valued elegance over empathy. She arrived with her 2 daughters, Celeste and Vera, whose smiles never reached their eyes. At first, they pretended kindness. Then the masks slipped. Elara's dresses disappeared. Her greenhouse time was unladylike. Her laughter became embarrassing. Slowly, she was pushed from her bright bedroom to a dusty attic chamber near the chimney. Ash from the fireplace often coated her skin as she worked from dawn to night. Cinderella Celeste mocked one evening. The name stuck. But they underestimated something. Ash does not erase fire. In the quiet of night, Elara still visited the greenhouse. The mice helped her gather seeds. The sparrows brought small ribbons and shiny trinkets. And Milo, he stole apples from the kitchen and placed them at her window like offerings. Years passed, then one spring an announcement arrived. The kingdom would host a grand festival, not just a ball but a 3-day gathering where the royal family would meet every eligible young woman in the region. It was said the prince himself wished to choose a partner not for wealth, but for heart. The manor buzzed with preparation. Silks, jewels, perfumes. Elara dared to hope. "May I attend?" she asked gently. Lady Rowena's laugh cut sharper than glass. "Attend. You'll be lucky if you finish scrubbing the silver before sunset." On the first evening of the festival, the carriage rolled away, leaving Elara alone. She didn't cry. Instead, she walked to the greenhouse one last time. "I suppose gardens are enough," she whispered. That's when something strange happened. The sparrows began circling wildly. The mice squeaked with excitement. Milo tugged at her skirt and pulled her toward the center of the room. An old figure stepped out from behind the vines. It was Madame Isoda, the former estate groundskeeper dismissed years ago by Lady Rowena for being too mystical. "You think kindness goes unseen." The old woman smiled. "You've watered more than flowers, child." With a wave of her weathered hand, the vines shimmered. The mice dragged forth a gown woven from pressed petals and silk threads Elara herself had grown. The sparrows dropped pearls at her feet. Even Milo proudly presented a small golden comb he had once stolen, but now returned for good. Magic did not transform her. Love did. By nightfall, Elara arrived at the festival knot in a glittering carriage, but on horseback, her gown simple yet radiant, and she danced. Not delicately, not cautiously, freely the prince noticed. Not because she sparkled, but because she laughed. They spoke of gardens, of travel, of loss, of rebuilding after grief. He listened as though her words were rare treasures. For the first time in years, Elara felt seen. But before midnight, she slipped away not from fear, but because she knew her worth no longer depended on a crown. The next day, the prince searched not for a jeweled princess, but for the girl who spoke of soil and sunlight. When he arrived at the manor, Lady Rowena pushed her daughters forward, but the prince looked past silk. He saw ash on the floorboards. He followed the faint scent of lilies upstairs, and there she was, Elara tending a small potted flower near her attic window. "You left something unfinished," he said softly. "What is that?" "A dance." Lady Rowena's protests echoed down the hallway, but something had changed. Elara stood taller. "I will not leave because I am rescued," she said calmly. "I will leave because I choose to." And she did. Not as Cinderella, not as a servant, but as Elara, the girl who grew through ashes. She restored the greenhouse in the palace grounds. She brought animals into the royal gardens. She invited children from the villages to plant seeds and learn patience. And when she finally wore a crown, it felt lighter than the ash she once carried. Because strength is not born in ballrooms, it is grown in quiet places, where no one thinks to look. They tried to bury her in ashes, but they forgot she was made of seeds.